Welcome to Ongozi Technology YouTube channel. This is the channel where we discuss all matters of basic research writing. In whatever level of academia you are in, diploma, undergraduate, master's, PhD, you need to have basic knowledge that will guide you through the process of writing a research paper. And in this channel, we provide that basic guideline. So, if you're joining us for the first time, karibu sana. Welcome on board. Kindly subscribe to this channel and check out our previous videos. For those who have already joined us, thank you so much for coming again and welcome once again. My name is Lucy Wanjiro, your research assistant. Today we will be discussing about research objectives. After we have defined the research topic and we have identified the research problem, the next crucial step is formulating the research objectives. Research objectives act as a roadmap guiding the researcher towards achieving the desired outcomes. They provide clarity and direction. Therefore, they help to focus the study and ensure that the research remains on track. In this session, we are going to delve into matters of the significance of the research objectives and their role in the research process. So, let us look at the importance of the research objectives in the research process. Writing a research paper is a process. It's not something you just wake up one day and you finish up. It's a process. So why do we need research objectives in the whole of the research process? Number one, they provide clarity and focus. What does that mean? The research objectives will bring clarity and focus to the study, ensuring that the researcher remains on course and avoids any unnecessary deviations or diversions. When you write the objectives, you will stick to those objectives and you will not deviate from those objectives. So they kind of regulate you from meandering, from diverting from the main focus. Number two, they are an evaluation criteria. What does that mean? They assess whether your research is effectively addressing the research problem that you had stated earlier. And number three, the research objectives, they are the means of communication between the researcher and the stakeholders and anyone else involved in the research process. Remember, when you're doing a research, there have to be stakeholders. Your research paper has to speak to a community. It has to speak to an issue. It has to speak to a problem that is affecting a society. So who are the stakeholders in this problem, in this community that your research is talking to? So these objectives, they are the means of communication. They are communicating the researcher's mind to the stakeholders. Okay, let us move forward. Next, we're going to discuss the relationship between the research topic, the research problem, and the research objectives. All these three have a relationship. All these three play a key role in the research process. So the research topic, what does it do? It determines the area of interest and broad subject matter under investigation. That is the research topic. Number two, the research problem. What does it do? The research problem identifies the specific issue or gap in knowledge that needs to be addressed through the research. And then now the research objective, it provides the specific goals and the specific aims that the research intends to accomplish. What are these goals? Those ones are communicated through the research objectives. Next, what are the key factors that we should look at when we are defining our research objectives? Number one, they should be specific. Specificity is key. Your research objectives should be clear and concise and specific so that they provide a focused direction for the study. Number two, your research objectives should be relevant. Your research objectives should be relevant to the research project, and they should contribute to addressing the identified gap in knowledge. So if you have identified a specific gap in knowledge in your research problem, then your objectives should come and contribute in addressing that identified gap in knowledge. Okay. And number three, your research objectives should be measurable. Your objectives should be measurable to enable the evaluation of research outcomes and progress. Okay, these should be measurable. So to add on to that, these are additional considerations when formulating your research objectives. Number one is clarity. We have already said that it should be clear. Your research objectives should be clear. Number two, they should align with the research problem. Research objectives should align with the research problem. And number three, they should be attainable, should be a level of feasibility. It's not something that is unachievable. And number four, time bound. All research papers should be done within a stipulated period of time. It's not infinity. Should be given a time frame. Techniques for formulating research objectives. This is very, very important. How do you come up with research objectives? And by the way, my advice is have 4 strong objectives. You can have even 6, but for a good research paper, have at least 4 strong objectives. Where do you get these objectives from? How do you come up with research objectives? That's a very basic question that you should be asking yourself. And this is a session where we address that issue. Number one, you review and understand the initial topic. It is essential to have a thorough understanding of your initial research topic. You review literature in that topic. For example, if your topic is the impact of social media on mental health, you need to understand the general landscape of this field. Don't just write a research paper whereby you have zero knowledge in that area. Go into literature, go into journals, and look for information about that area, the general landscape of this field, so that you can inform yourself. You can identify the gaps. You can know what are the problems in this area. For example, if you're talking about social media and mental health, what are the issues that are currently facing this particular field? Identify the key components and the variables in the topic. What are those? You break down your topic into key components and variables. Identify the specific elements that you want to study. For example, if we are talking about social media and mental health, the key components could include maybe social media usage patterns, types of social media platforms, and then various mental health outcomes such as anxiety, stress, depression, those kind of things. So you break it down. You have already identified your topic. You have already gone through the topic. You've already gone through the literature. Now break down the topic in terms of key elements, variables. Break them down. Now, go to the next step. You have broken down your topic in terms of variables, in terms of key components. Then go ahead and form research questions from these components. Refine them, these specific elements that you want to investigate, and then formulate questions. For example, how does the frequency of Instagram use correlate with stress levels among college students? You can also ask, what are the immediate effects of Instagram use on the mental well-being of students during exam periods? See, It's not that hard. Next, transform now those questions into research objectives. There you have your objectives. For example, you can say to examine the correlation between the frequency of Instagram use and stress levels. You can say to examine the correlation between the frequency of Instagram use and stress levels among college students. You can also say to analyze the immediate impact of Instagram use on the mental well-being of college students during exam period. There you have your objectives. Okay. Now, the next step is to ensure you align these objectives with purpose of the study and with feasibility. Are they achievable? Are they aligned to the purpose of your study? Are they feasible within the constraints of time, resources, and ethical consideration? So you have your questions, now you weigh them on the weighing scale of feasibility in terms of time constraints, resources, ethical considerations. And are they executable? Can you actually do it? Can you actually examine the correlation between frequency of Instagram use and stress level among college students? Make sure you can do that. Don't just state things that look ambiguous. Make sure you can actually execute your research objectives. Then, the last step now, so that you now know you have good objectives. Seek external perspective and feedback. Don't just sit with your objectives there and believe that they're fine. Talk to your colleagues, talk to mentors, go to your supervisor. Incorporate some constructive criticism. Be an open mind. Let somebody criticize your objectives so that you can enhance the precision and the relevance of your research objectives. Open them to constructive criticism so that you remain relevant and precise in your research objectives. Yes. So, having said that, these are the common challenges that you will encounter when you are formulating your research objectives. Number one, it's ambiguity. Some of those objectives can actually become unclear or vague, and that can lead to misdirection of the research process. So make sure you clean and refine your research objectives so that they are not ambiguous. Number two, you can become overambitious. You can set very high goals which you cannot even achieve in terms of resources and in terms of time. So ensure your research objectives are within the scope of your resources and time. And then alignment also. Sometimes it's very hard to align your research objectives to your research problem. So look at your research objectives and ask yourself, are they within the research problem? Are they within the research topic? Are they aligning? Are they addressing the research problem? Are they within the borders of my research topic? And there you have it. Now, we have come to the conclusion of the matter. Here are some key takeaways. Research objectives are critical in your research process. So ensure that your research objectives are clear, specific, and measurable so that they guide your study into achieving meaningful outcomes. And then ensure you understand your research topic very well and your research problem so that you can come up with objectives that are actually in line with your research problem and your research topic. This one will help your study to remain focused and aligned to the intended goals. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining our academic research journey today. If you found this video helpful, please don't forget to subscribe for more insightful content, give us a thumbs up, like, and share. Until next time, happy researching. I am Lucy Wanjiro. Adios.